Spider-Man Homecoming was directed by Jon Watts and stars Tom Holland, Michael Keaton, and Robert Downey Jr. And I'm very excited to give you guys my review for this movie. Be sure to check out my playlist with my previous Spider-Man movie reviews. As well, be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Now let's get into this review. In this movie, Peter Parker balances his life as an ordinary high school student in Queens with his superhero alter ego Spider-Man, and finds himself on the trail of a new menace prowling the skies of New York City. For me, Spider-Man Homecoming works better as an MCU movie rather than a Spider-Man movie, and I find for me, sort of what we got in all the previous Spider-Man movies with Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield, that's sort of what I had come to expect from Spider-Man. That to me is Spider-Man, what they do in those movies. This one's very different, and I respect that they're trying to do something different in this movie, and it does have some fun to it, but it feels very small scale and just doesn't feel like Spider-Man to me. And for me, this movie, my enjoyment of it seems to fluctuate whenever I watch it. When I first saw it, I liked it, but it was just sort of missing that Spider-Man heart to me. And I've overall enjoyed it over the years, but rewatching it this time, doing this like Spider-Man movie marathon, my enjoyment of it went down quite a bit because I've got all the other ones very fresh in my mind. And I think if I was doing like an MCU rewatch, I would enjoy this one a bit more because I'm watching the MCU and sort of know what I'm wanting with the MCU. Right now is like I'm wanting a Spider-Man movie, and it just doesn't feel like a Spider-Man movie. So for those of you who've watched my videos, you know that I do a score at the end of my videos. So this is a movie that my score will probably change over time depending if I'm wanting an MCU movie or a Spider-Man movie, but I'll have a score at the end of this for how I'm feeling right now. But to start with the positives, I think Tom Holland is very good as the Peter Parker that they have in this universe. I think it's a lot of fun. You buy into him being a young teenager. He's great. He looks like he's having a lot of fun. I like the use of Iron Man in this movie. He's not in it too much. I think he's in it the right amount. So that was good. And Michael Keaton as a Vulture I thought was very good. He's a villain that you can understand why he's doing what he's doing. He's not really got this giant scheme to take over a city or the world or anything. He's just trying to provide for his family. So I enjoyed his villain quite a bit. They had a great twist in it that I didn't see coming. Really liked that. And this movie does have some charm to it. It's definitely got a different feel than the other Spider-Man movies. It's a smaller scale, more of a John Hughes sort of movie, has that kind of feel to it. And I appreciate they're going for something different, and at times it was fun, but it wasn't really what I want in a Spider-Man movie. So it kind of worked at times. At other times I'm like, I just found, like, after doing this rewatch of the previous Spider-Man movies, I just wasn't as interested in what was going on with the action scenes. They just weren't as exciting. They also didn't look as good, like the directing, and it was fine, but it wasn't as unique as what we got in the other movies, that it wasn't as engaging for me. The laughs in this, the humor, for the most part worked. There were a couple jokes I was like, okay, it felt kind of easy humor, if that makes any sense, but for the most part the humor worked. I enjoyed most of the side characters in this. Ned, Michelle or MJ, Liz, I enjoyed them. They're pretty good. They did some different things with these characters from what are like in the previous movie and I think the comics. Those changes didn't bother me. I was fine with those. For me, I think one of the big things that really holds this movie down is the whole Ironman Junior stuff. I don't mind Tony Stark being like a mentor, but giving Spider-Man the suit that was made by Tony Stark and having all this technology that has all these crazy things that can do different webs, all crazy stuff that like Iron Man can do, it really does not feel like Spider-Man at all. And like I said, this movie has heart to it, but it doesn't feel like the heart that you get from the Spider-Man movies. Like, Peter Parker's sometimes struggling with stuff going on in this movie, but it's not done the same way as the other movies where you don't really feel like he's struggling that much. He's just more wanting to be an Avenger. He's not as much struggling between what he wants as Peter Parker and what he needs to do as Spider-Man, that sort of thing. I'm okay with them not retelling his origin story because it's been done twice before, but they seem to also just ignore a lot of the major parts of it, like Uncle Ben's death. That was very important in the previous Spider-Man origins, and I think that really held this down too, because there's like no sense of responsibility or that he needs to be Spider-Man because of what happened there. So I just felt like they were really missing key components of what makes Spider-Man Spider-Man. So that really holds this movie back. Like, just as an MCU movie, it's fun, but as a Spider-Man movie, it's lacking for me. So that's why I was like, I'm mixed on this. If I was just watching this for an MCU movie, I'd probably enjoy it more, but I was watching it for a Spider-Man movie, and it's like not bad. It's just like, okay, it's fun. There's some fun action scenes, like when they're on the ferry or at the in Washington on that big monument. That was some cool stuff, but it's not particularly memorable compared to some other Spider-Man action scenes from other movies. But still, there's fun in it. Like I said, Tom Holland I think is really good. There are some fun scenes, some funny scenes, there's some good jokes. I like the villain, the Vulture. I thought he was quite good for this movie. I enjoyed Happy Hogan as well. He was a lot of fun. The movie does have a nice message of, if you're nothing without the suit, then you shouldn't have it. That was a pretty cool theme in this movie that I enjoyed, but it was kind of undermined at the end by having Spider-Man get his suit back that Iron Man made that had all that technology. So it's sort of like, yeah, Spider-Man can be Spider-Man without the suit, but we're going to give him the suit anyway just because it's the MCU. It was a theme that worked, but it just felt kind of undermined at the end when they're like, yes, he can be Spider-Man without the suit, but he's getting the suit back. So overall, it's an okay movie for me. Like I said, I did enjoy it more before, but over the years I'm just sort of finding it's like, I don't know, this just doesn't feel like Spider-Man to me, and a big part of that is all this technology. It's just like taking away a lot of what makes a character who he is. So that was kind of disappointing, and I think just not having these sort of grander scale action scenes or even swinging scenes is just not as investing. It sort of takes away the awe that was in the previous movies. So yeah, it just feels like a disposable Spider-Man movie, for lack of better words. Again, I've said it before, but it's a better MCU movie than it is a Spider-Man movie. It's got good parts to it. I'll watch this movie and have a fair amount of fun, but I think there are just a lot of key things that make up Spider-Man for me that just weren't in this, and just going for that smaller scale. Like, there's some fun parts, some fun things they did with that, like when he's trying to swing but he runs to a golf course and he can't swing, so he has to run. There's some fun stuff like that, but it's just like, just doesn't feel like Spider-Man to me. So I'm sure I'm in the minority of this, because I know a lot of people really like this movie. A lot of people have it as one of their favorite Spider-Man movies, and that's great. I wish I liked it more. I used to like it more, but just watching it in the Spider-Man marathon, it just didn't hold up as well for me. So for me, I would give Spider-Man Homecoming a 65%. It's alright. I can watch it and have some fun. I think if I was watching this more just for an MCU movie, like doing an MCU movie marathon, my score may have been higher because I'd be watching it for an MCU movie, not for a Spider-Man movie. But I wish it could have been both. I think they could have done that, and I think they do a better job of it in No Way Home, in my opinion, and I hope they continue with what they set up in No Way Home with the next Spider-Man after that, but we'll get into that later. So yeah, those are my thoughts on Spider-Man Homecoming. If you guys have seen it, be sure to let me know what you thought about it. Is it one of your favorite Spider-Man movies, or are you like me, who was kind of disappointed with it? Let me know your thoughts as well. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel, and be sure to stay tuned for some more videos coming soon. And until my next review, take care, everybody.